Hey folks, say hello to this guy, the coach, who's not just a coach today, you're an athlete. So tell everybody what we did today, because I told everybody that this Periscope was going to start at 8:45, but it's a little bit after 9. It's like 9:07, 9:08,
Yeah.
because we actually did our sprint workout. Tell them what we did today.
We did 300s and progressively faster.
Yeah.
And then we did a 200. The reason we did it early is because of the heat. It's really warm.
Yeah.
And but it was good. It was pretty easy, actually.
How did we cap it off?
Speak for
With the
yourself,
200.
Coach. I'm dying here.
You're sweating, man.
How did we cap this off?
Yeah, how did we cap off? We did 300s, but then
Yeah.
we also did a 200.
We did a 200, yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
you
we
know,
ran it.
You know, a 200 is actually almost easier than a 100. You know, because you got a running start on the second 100, so you can.
You have some time to gain momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
you sort
agree
of
with
just
that.
glide your way through to the 200. So,
But
you know,
I feel it more once we stop. I feel great doing the 200, but once we're done, like I feel it in my lungs. My heart's beating really hard,
Yeah.
and
how do you feel doing the 400?
400s. It's always has been and always will be a gut race.
So-
I feel like warmed over dog shit after running a
So you remember
a 400 meters.
You know, like a month or so ago, and Ron, he did the 400 in 1:08.
Yeah,
and you did it.
I wanted to run with Ron.
Yeah.
I would. He would have beat me, but he would have paced me.
Yeah.
But you were smart, because I would have injured myself.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And you probably would have hurt him too, because he would have tried to. Hard. So
He would sense me coming around the shoulder and be like, no, dude.
So there's a guy, Ron. He's almost 40 years old. He's in great shape, but he's not in running shape.
Right.
Ran a 1:08 400, which is incredible.
Yeah.
But you ran a 1:14.
Yeah.
Which is also incredible.
Yeah.
So it's hard. The 400's a hard.
And how did
race.
you do in the 200 today? What was your time?
It was.
I thought it was 44 seconds
Yeah,
flat.
It's 42.94.
Not too bad.
So I'm just trying to get under 40.
Not too shabby, Coach.
Well, you know
now
what-
here's a very important question offered by Smelodies OG. What did you eat for breakfast?
I did eat breakfast.
So did I.
had,
You got to have breakfast.
I had eggs over easy. I had cereal, and I had a banana.
There you go. So you had fuel.
Yeah. But
Now
you know-
sometimes you come out here on an empty stomach, right?
Well, I try to have a banana.
Yes.
Half a banana, no matter
There you
what.
go.
Yeah. So you have to have something, but it does help a lot.
Does.
Yeah, it
Totally.
helps. So the thing is, when we first got out here, it's sort of suffocating with the warmth.
Yeah, we're in the shade right now, folks, but under the sun, it's pretty damn hot. I don't know how hot it is exactly, but it's
But
hot.
you know, I was up real late last night watching the UFC post-fight press conference, which was incredible. Wow, those guys have it together.
They do.
The fighters and Dana White. I like that guy a lot. You know, he's real tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
He's real smart. And
And
then
he's
they
very
have,
media savvy.
they have
He's
my
very
favorite-
comfortable
Yeah, Bruce
on
Buffer,
camera.
my favorite announcer, Bruce Buffer.
His brother of Michael Buffer, right?
Yeah, his brother.
Yeah, and Bruce has got incredible energy.
Yeah, well, he
And he's a
announces
great guy,
he
too.
just shakes like this and
But
points
he's
at
really-
the...
He's feeling it, though. I think it's genuine.
No, it is.
I don't
And you
think
know,
that's an
they
act.
didn't meet until they were both adults.
Yeah.
And Bruce Buffer was watching fights with his dad, and his dad said, "Michael Buffer, the announcer, that's your brother."
I heard it was kind of nonchalant, like,
Yeah.
he might be your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy? Yeah.
But they're both good, but I think Bruce Buffer's incredible.
Are they
So,
friends? The two brothers?
Oh, yeah.
Partners?
They're business partners.
Oh, cool.
And I think it was...
For them. Yeah.
I think Bruce was instrumental in getting the "Let's Get Ready to Rumble" phrase trademark,
he did. Yeah, Bruce is the...
and he guarded it, really,
Bruce, I think,
really
is
carefully
is the
early on,
businessman,
like 20
but
years ago.
I could watch him all day long. He's so good.
Yeah.
So are you ready for some questions?
Sure,
So-
sure, I do. We are going to try to do like a Facebook Live today, just a kind of experiment. So we'll do about 20 minutes on this Periscope, and then we'll switch over to my Facebook page, and just to test it, just to see how that works. You
And
know.
so Tom Loeffler's not going to be here. He was in Las Vegas last night with Triple G and Abel. And
Doing the UFC media
They
junket.
did that.
Here's another question from Smelodies OG. Will there be any other mega fights in Vegas this year beside Canelo Triple G2? Well, not scheduled. There's nothing scheduled so far. I'm going to guess there'll be one other big sort of, I don't know, we can call it a mega fight, but there'll be another big event in Las Vegas before the end of 2018. And I'm going to just guess. My hunch is Eddie Hearn is going to be the promoter for that one.
I thought.
What do you think?
I think it's going to be the rodeo. The rodeo.
The rodeo. What's the rodeo?
They have rodeos in Las Vegas all the time. The big rodeos.
Oh, the rodeo. Well, that's not a boxing event, though.
He's in
The rodeo? The rodeo? Yeah. The rodeo is a big deal, man. Yeah.
It's huge.
But doesn't that happen in September? It's like the same time?
I'm not sure.
I think so. Or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Okay, so you ready for a few questions?
Sure. Samir, you want to take
I'll take over.
I'm going to sweat, so I think
Okay.
smell it either. Somebody else was asking something.
Morning, Jacob.
Shout out to JP Ficos, who ain't here, but what's up? Hey, and shout out to Manny Pacquiao. I'm wearing this because he fights next Saturday from Malaysia, probably the biggest boxing match to be held in Malaysia.
And on ESPN Plus.
Well, okay, this is the biggest. This is the first really big fight that's going to be streamed on ESPN Plus. But the last fight of this magnitude in Malaysia was, I think, in 1970, well, in the mid-70s, and it's Muhammad Ali, and I think he fought Joe Budner in Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur? How do you say it?
Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur.
That's how
Malaysia. That's the capital, right? That's the whatever. It's a major city in Malaysia, but that's the same city that hosted Ali Budner.
So it's a fight
One of
city,
their
huh?
fights.
So like it's a good market for the fight, like that. I mean, I don't know, like what's the point?
MP Promotions, Manny Pacquiao's promotional company, they
interested.
believe it's a potential market for big boxing events, at least in Asia.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm just thinking like the whole currency exchange conversion. If what's the gate and all of that. Like,
see,
they're
you're
probably...
a finance guy. You think about this kind of stuff. You think Manny thinks about this kind of stuff?
You better.
Well, yeah, like boxers should, but they don't. Yeah. That's why we'll probably never see Manny fight in America, because there's some tax issues.
Oh yeah.
Like,
okay.
those are just details.
All right,
yeah.
so we should have started from there then. Like,
Yeah, there
that
you
makes
go.
sense.
Right. Okay.
Okay, here's the first question. This fight was on July 7th, 1980.
I was 10 years old.
Yeah. It was for this guy retains his WBC heavyweight title.
WBC heavyweight title. Well, that was Larry Holmes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like 2 years into Larry Holmes's.
Okay, I'll tell you where the
Heavyweight
fight. I'll
title
tell you
reign.
where it was, then you'll know who he fought.
Okay. Okay.
So he knocked this guy out in the 7th round.
Uh huh.
Okay, the guy was an excellent fight commentator. After when he retired,
Huh.
he died a few years ago.
Scott Ledoux.
Got it.
Scott Ledoux. Yeah.
And where was
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was good.
Great guy from Minnesota, I believe.
That's where the fight was.
Yeah, that's right.
Minnesota.
He was a really good commentator,
Yeah,
and he
was
was a
very-
heavyweight contender.
Yeah, he was.
He
very-
had his shot when he faced an all-time great.
Who was on the same card? This guy retained his WBC super lightweight title, won it by KO in the 13th.
WBC
You know, I was
super
gonna
lightweight,
look up-
which is 140 pounds.
I was going to look up and see where these guys are from, but I didn't. And KO 13.
Huh.
I'll tell you the first name of one guy, then you'll know the whole thing.
Well, don't give me that. Don't give me any of that. Who held the WBC?
But they're both guys that of name, but not famous. Just they were big fighters.
Was Saul Mamby?
Yeah.
That was that the
Yeah.
title holder?
Yeah.
He defended his title in the 13th round against this guy. So these guys weren't. The guy he beat wasn't famous. The guy he beat didn't go on to win a title, did he?
I don't know.
Or was he a perennial contender?
He had a name. He wasn't big time.
Did he have a lot of fights?
He is, and
Is he from the Midwest?
I think he might be from Puerto Rico. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Beat a dude,
Or
maybe. But a Latin dude, Latin
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Saul Mamby. Was it? Who's a? It wasn't. God, it wasn't that. It wasn't De Jesus, was
Yeah.
it? It was Esteban De Jesus.
Yeah.
The first man to beat Roberto Duran.
Nice. Where's he from?
He's from Puerto Rico.
Okay. And so, where's Saul Mamby from?
I don't know where Saul Mamby's from. It's an exotic name. I think he fought out of the New York area, but I don't know where he's from. Where's he from?
Hey, so Doug, I didn't think you could That was good.
Hey, nobody
Yeah.
nobody utters the name Saul Mamby.
Hey, that
Let me
was-
tell
that was
you,
good.
Saul Mamby was a hell of a
Hey,
fighter.
but let me tell you, your mailbag last Monday,
Yeah. What did you like about it?
the whole thing, it flowed. It was incredible.
Took me
Really
like
good.
took me like 6 hours to write that because I was binge watching Luke Cage on Netflix.
Oh yeah. How do you like it?
I love it.
Pretty cool, huh?
I'm almost through the first season.
But really, it was incredible.
Did you like? Okay, I'm
I
glad
liked
you
it a lot.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Do you like that length? Because sometimes they're like 4,000,
It was
4,500
really
words,
good.
but this one was more like 3,000.
It was really good.
Yeah, maybe I should keep them to like 3,000.
Attention spans keep going down these days.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you do it, how you can keep that up. And
I like it because it helps me learn. Because somebody will pose a question, and it'll make me do a little bit of research. You know, somebody was asking about rematches, and I started thinking about
yeah,
what are some fights that were, generally speaking, if a fight is really good, or if it's a high-profile fight that's either moderately competitive or controversial, there is a rematch, at least one return bout. So it's the rare case that they don't do it again. So like Hagler Hearns, Leonard Hagler,
Yeah.
that's rare.
That was huge.
That's rare that those didn't have return bouts, or
Awesome.
De La Hoya Whitaker, or De La Hoya Trinidad.
Trinidad.
Yeah, or even yeah. It's actually rare, and so it was interesting to kind of think about that. And I went back and I was looking at like fight of the years, and generally speaking, if there's a fight of the year, there's a rematch. But there were a few fight of the years that they didn't have a return bout.
I
And
was
there were
at,
a few high profile or controversial type fights.
I was at the
They didn't have a
Trinidad
return
Oscar
back.
fight.
Yeah,
It was okay.
I sat that one out. Yeah, I wasn't into that.
It was okay.
I predicted De La Hoya by knockout.
Okay.
I thought he would stop. I thought he would stop Tito late.
Someone's asking, is Triple G
What do I know?
versus Murata Triple G's next big money fight in Japan? Murata?
Could be. I think Triple G, his first option, if he beats Canelo in this rematch, is Saunders. I think he wants that WBO belt.
But does it make sense now that he doesn't have the IBF? Or
It doesn't. Beating Saunders doesn't make him
Or it's just
undisputed, technically speaking, but
it's
that's a
money
big fight. That's
yeah.
that immediately elicits the attention of the UK boxing
True.
scene,
Yeah.
and that's a thriving boxing scene.
And it'll probably be in the UK.
Maybe.
It should be.
It should be.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It should be.
It's not like Saunders is Anthony Joshua though.
Right.
Saunders takes a back seat even to a lot of those those guys that nobody really talks that much about who fight out of Manchester, like Anthony Crolla and Terry Flanders, who just lost to Maurice Hooker. I think those guys are probably, or like Kell Brook in Sheffield. I think these guys are more reliable ticket sellers. George Grove's a bigger
Yeah,
draw.
but what about
all these guys are bigger draws than Billy Joe Saunders.
What about Billy Joe Saunders in America?
You know what? He could probably, he talks a good game. He's like his cousin Tyson Fury. I think they're related. Maybe they're not. I don't know.
Another question,
They
though.
remind me of each other.
Who would you like between Tapia versus Too Sharp Johnson at Super Fight?
That's a good question. Johnny Tapia versus Too Sharp Johnson.
At Super Fight.
I think Tapia is arguably the best 115-pounder of all time. It's between him and KSI Galaxy from Thailand. But Mark Too Sharp Johnson is the best fighter, all-around boxer fighter, most talented, most technically sound, skillful, and still gutsy boxer fighter I've ever witnessed in his prime. I watched him as a fan and as a member of the media fighting out of the Forum and out of the Anaheim, the Pond of Anaheim, which is now the Honda Center. And he's as good as it gets, really. So I'm going to say Too Sharp Johnson by decision. Competitive fight, but Too Sharp Johnson, I think he beats Tapia. And I think if you talk to Tapia's management at the time, like if you track down Cameron Duncan and ask him what he thought about that matchup, he'd be honest and tell you, no, Too Sharp wins that fight, which is why I would not allow Johnny to fight Too Sharp Johnson.
Okay, here's a question. This was July 7th, 2007. This was a rematch. You were one of the few people to pick the right winner in the first fight, which was a big upset.
Right.
Heavyweights,
Yeah,
Cologne,
this
Germany.
is probably Vladimir Klitschko's rematch stoppage of Lehman Brewster.
Yeah, what round?
What do you mean one of the few to pick Lehman Brewster? I was the only person
Yeah,
to pick
okay.
Lehman Brewster. I got an email from Sam Simon after that fight. They're like, you were the only one. I got a phone call from Lehman saying, you were the only one. All right. What about that fight? I don't think that rematch should have happened.
What round?
Oh, I don't know, 7 or 8. 6, yeah. That was 6 rounds too many.
Okay, I give you this one. Okay, this fight, 7-7, 2007. One of the greatest one-punch, left hand counter-punch knockouts.
Oh, it's got to be Nonito Donaire stopping Vic Darchinyan.
In what round?
That was like 6 or 7, wasn't it?
5.
5, gosh.
And where was the fight?
No, was it in Reno? Was it in Tahoe?
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Connecticut, huh?
Hey, what was that? So, Doug
I
and
told you I missed it.
Doug and I were at Nonito's very first fight.
Yeah.
What was the date?
Hollywood Park.
What was the date?
What was the date? I don't know. I think the year was 2001.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah,
2001. Whoa.
February 22nd.
Hey, you know, Donaire just joined the World Boxing Super Series Bantamweight tournament.
Yeah.
He's like the grand old man.
Hey, but he
Holy
was at
crap.
that one stretch in there.
Yeah.
You know when he knocked out that guy in the second round?
Fernando Montiel. He might have peaked at 118 pounds. I thought he was
That
like
was
Roy Jones
incredible.
Jr. at Bantamweight.
And the ref almost got Montiel.
Oh, man, that dude. Mora. Russell Mora.
Russell Mora.
That's crazy,
Oh.
right? Wasn't that scary?
Anyway, Donaire was so good in there. But, you know,
Yeah.
Donaire... did
Yeah,
you
I
get-
would say, between Darchinyan and Montiel, he looked
Okay,
pretty difficult
Did
to
you
beat.
give Donaire a chance against Darchinyan in that first fight?
I don't think I did.
You know, I looked it up.
He
didn't
was
really-
that was the upset of the year.
He didn't really beat anyone.
I was
coming
a
into that.
big Darchinyan guy. I like Darchinyan.
But I tell you, they had a great game plan. His
Yeah.
dad did an incredible job.
His
That-
dad's working with this guy on my chest right here, man.
Oh
Did you
yeah,
know that?
he is working. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that fight, that was, you know, Don.
I tell you what, though, I knew that Donaire was going to enter that fight with a lot of fire because Darchinyan had stopped his brother
Yeah.
in a previous bout, a previous flyweight title defense, and Donaire's pride was hurt, and the brothers were hard on each other. So if Donaire thought that his brother Glenn didn't give 100%, I witnessed this more than once. He'd let him have it. He'd yell at him, yell and scream, and he'd get really emotional and upset about it. So that made me think, well, if Nonito ever gets a shot against Darchinyan, he's going to carry a pretty sizable chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, but that left hand, that was incredible.
Yeah, but he wasn't emotional. He was really
Yeah.
within himself.
Yeah, he
It was a
was.
lot of confidence.
But he won every second of every round,
total control.
and it was incredible. So Donaire, remember, he used to watch the fights with us before he turned pro.
Yeah.
And then Don Familton was his trainer, but he couldn't take his dad.
Yeah.
So he left him. So the guy
Coach Hamilton was smart about boxing dads,
Yeah.
especially Malone.
Okay, so what were
you
the-
go be crazy on your own time.
What were Donaire and Darchinyan's records going into that fight?
Donaire and Darchinyan was undefeated. He was probably like 27-0 or
28,
something like
no,
that.
yeah.
Close.
And what was Donaire?
I don't know. Donaire was probably like 25-1,
17-1.
17-1.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the one fight he lost,
Wow.
it was because
It's like
Baby
a
Doll.
5-rounder.
No, it was because he was having a problem with Baby Doll Riley.
Yeah.
That was his girlfriend. so-
Women weaken legs.
Yeah, they did. So that fight was up in Oakland, and
Yeah.
and he lost that fight. And the guy he lost to, I looked him up, only had about 5 or 6 fights in his whole career.
He's like a truck driver.
and but he
And he was at the time.
but he beat Donaire.
Sure,
And
you
then
could
he
say
never
that.
really fought anyone.
Isn't that awesome?
He just sort of quit.
That's
but
awesome.
Donaire, I thought, you got to look that fight up. Donaire against Darchinyan is on Boxing History, and they show the knockout. It's definitely better than when Sugar Ray Robinson knocked out Fulmer.
It's kind of a lot alike because both guys, both Darchinyan and Fulmer, who were known for their sturdiness, their durability, their ability to take a shot, they didn't know it hit them.
No.
They got like boom, and they're like down, and then they get back up, and then they're like,
same way,
and then afterwards they're like, well, why's the fight over? What's up? What's going on? Like seriously, they didn't know what happened.
You know, it's almost
that's getting your lights turned off.
But I tell you, it's addicting watching the knockout.
Well, there's nothing like knockouts.
Wow, that a knockout.
I could watch highlight reels of Julian Jackson knockouts out every day.
Okay.
I could like wake up to that every morning.
I gave you this one.
And watch this dude stretch
Okay,
suckers.
so this was July 8th, 1959. I was there.
I'm gonna have to say, before my time, not yours.
It was
So, by the way, my dad was 9, but go on. No, I'm sorry. Okay, so July 8th, 1959.
Yeah, it was the opening of the LA Sports Arena.
Oh, okay.
First event held there. And I was at the last event there, too.
Yeah.
But the first event, and you know who it is.
Yeah. This is Bantamweight Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is Jose Becerra.
Right.
And he stopped Halimi.
Yeah.
What's his first name? Something Halimi. He was like from Morocco.
You know it.
I can't remember.
Yeah, you know. For sure you know. Think starts with an A.
A very Moroccan soundish name. Kind of Arabic sound.
Abdul.
No, it's not Abdul. It's like Ariel. Not Ariel. I don't know. Oh, is it Alphonse?
Yeah.
Alphonse Halimi. That's not an Arabic sounding name.
Hey.
What the hell? Well, okay, Halimi is, okay.
I knew you'd get it.
That was French.
So they had a rematch, you know.
Hey, by the way, Bill Kaplan, Hall of Fame PR man, publicist, says that's the loudest sound. It's the loudest noise he's ever heard in his life. Not just in a boxing arena, you know, but just the loudest noise that he's ever heard in his entire life, and he's in his 80s, is the sound of the Mexican crowd cheering for Becerra when he stopped Halimi. He said it was like an explosion of just pure noise. Yeah, it hurt.
It was in the afternoon.
Was it after?
Yeah, it was the opening, and it was.
And they were
White
still
Roller Sports.
constructing the place, right? It wasn't 100% done, right? Or it was.
I don't remember that.
And it was televised.
On national TV.
Wow. Okay.
And so that was, and then they fought again.
Yeah.
In between, Jose Becerra had a fight with the guy from LA.
Right.
And the guy died.
Fatality, right?
What was the guy's name?
I don't know.
Who was his manager?
Well, it's probably Jackie McCoy. No. Well, yeah, I had to throw that out there. There was like a 50% chance it was Jackie McCoy.
His manager was Mickey Davies.
Oh, Mickey Davies.
And Mickey Davies quit being a manager. They went up. They went down there on a train to Mexico.
Yeah.
And the guy's name was Walt Ingram.
Walt Ingram. Yeah. You know, Becerra retired like in his early 20s, early mid 20s, and I think that has something to do with it. Yeah, it's a.
Stuff, yeah.
You know, we're going to have a story in Ring Magazine. Michael Montero wrote it on Paul Vaden from San Diego.
Yeah.
And he had a fight with a guy named Stephon Johnson who passed away afterwards. And it profoundly, most fighters, it profoundly affects them.
And it's never that fight.
Yeah.
It's the fights leading up to it.
Oh, well, for the fighter who passed away,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Stephon Johnson had some brutal stoppage, I think, to Fitz Vanderpool in Canada. And then within a month later, he was fighting in Atlantic City, and that shouldn't have been allowed. Yeah. Like, he was medically suspended in Canada, but they overlooked that in the U.S. And I think rules have changed to help prevent that, but Johnson didn't need to be fighting again that soon. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you this one. This is also July 8th, 1988. This really good welterweight. He actually won the super welterweight title.
What year was this again?
1988.
1988. A welterweight title holder defends his title.
He was welterweight, and then this was super welterweight.
Super welterweight.
And he won it in Italy.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking
you know
about.
Who it is.
Probably Donald Curry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Donald Curry.
Wow, is he incredible?
Sure. So he was the undisputed welterweight champ, pound for pound for a minute.
Yeah.
And co-fighter of the year by Ring Magazine in '85, he shared that with Hagler. That's how high people thought of Donald Curry. Like the same year Hagler stops Thomas Hearns in the greatest fight ever, he has to share fighter of the year honors with Donald. But that's how high. Donald Curry was the next Sugar Ray Leonard.
That's the year. That's the year that he won that fight
Yeah,
So,
Milton McCrory.
yeah.
Well,
1985.
McCrory was highly regarded, so
Yeah.
I mean, and he blew him out. So it's
Yeah.
like this dude. As a matter of fact, that was a fight everybody was talking about. It was like, you know what, Curry's going to go all the way to middleweight. Boom.
And then Sugar
Like
Ray.
Curry was supposed to do what Sugar Ray Leonard came back and did. Really?
No, because
Yeah.
Sugar Ray sucked in Curry.
Oh.
He teased him because
Oh.
he was going to fight him. He never was going to fight him.
Oh, yeah.
But then he teased him that he was going to.
Maybe that's why Curry stayed at 147 as long as he did.
Maybe.
You can't mess with your weight, fighters.
And you
Like you
can't
saw
mess-
with Danny O'Connor, man. Don't.
And you
When
can't.
it's time to
mess-
move up, time to go up.
You can't mess with Sugar Ray Leonard.
You can't mess with Sugar Ray.
No, he's
he was a shrewd SOB, wasn't he?
He still is. In a great way.
He's the greatest guy ever.
He's
man.
the best.
I'm telling you. But so he would fight. So this is in Italy.
Yeah.
So
What city?
I don't know, Milan. No?
Rome?
Rome.
San Remo.
San Remo. Yeah, they used to host a lot of boxing.
Hey,
I know
Donald
the guy that he
Curry.
beat. The guy that he beat was a real ugly fighter. Was it Rossi? Gianfranco Rossi? Oh boy, that guy was not easy to watch.
Gianfranco Rossi.
I wonder if anyone.
I remember Terry Norton. Nobody remembers. Nobody remembers any of these fighters. Nobody remembers Curry, man. Are you kidding?
Donald
no.
Curry.
People remember Curry. People remember Curry, but Saul Manby, forget about it.
You know what
He
they
never
remember?
existed. That never happened.
You know what they remember about Curry?
What?
Getting knocked out.
Losing to Lloyd Hennigan. Yeah. How about that?
Not that one. But getting knocked out by,
Terry
the
Norton.
body snatcher.
Oh,
That's
God.
the one. That's the fight.
That's a
everyone
one-hitter
remembers.
quitter. That was a
One-
counter
yeah.
hook. It was a hook while he was backing out.
Yeah, and he was ahead in that
Yeah.
fight. Yeah, coming down that one punch.
Don't mess with the body snatcher.
Is he still alive?
Yeah,
Oh, he is. He's
great.
training.
He's training guys. Yeah.
Still snatching.
Hey, I bet you he could get in there now.
He's a heavyweight.
Okay, so I'm going to give you this one. Okay, this one was July 10th. Lily's birthday, July 10th. My daughter. And my mother's birthday, too.
Oh, wow.
Same day. Okay, this one was in
a
Portland,
good day.
Oregon. This guy retained his welterweight title. The guy who lost the 15-round decision was from Portland.
What year was this?
1959. He
Oh,
also had a
59.
brother. He had a brother that fought, too.
Okay, sorry. Okay,
So I want you to tell me who won the fight. I want you to tell me who the manager was of the guy and who the trainer was of the guy who won.
the guy who won?
Yeah, and he was a welterweight. He retained the welterweight title.
Okay, was it Emil Griffith? No. Who was the welterweight
From
champ in
LA.
19?
From
Oh,
LA.
was it Don Jordan?
Yeah.
So it's Jackie McCoy?
Yeah. But who
Wasn't
was
he the trainer and manager? No.
This guy had a mob manager.
Oh, okay, one of the last. So was it Blinky Palermo?
It was Don Nessif.
Oh, Don. What was it?
Don Nessif.
Nessif?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a car dealer in L.A. but
So he was the manager,
He was
and
the
Jackie
manager.
McCoy was just the trainer.
Right.
Okay.
And Don Jordan.
And Don Jordan was from Long Beach, actually.
And
Wasn't he a longshoreman?
He was a longshoreman, and he was Jackie McCoy's first world
First
champ.
world title. Yeah, okay.
And who did he beat to win when he won the championship? Who did he beat?
Yeah, who the heck did he?
You know, we talked about him a couple of weeks ago.
Was it Curtis Cokes? No.
From
Who the
St.
hell?
Louis.
Eddie Perkins? A guy from St. Louis. Was this like for the vacant title?
Yeah, I
I'm
think so.
confused.
It was.
It wasn't Adolph Pruitt, was it? God, who's from St. Louis that was a welterweight?
You know, I might have the. Maybe he fought, but they fought twice.
Really?
And I saw when he beat him at the Olympic Auditorium. I was there.
Who the hell had the welterweight title in '59?
It might have been. It might have been for the vacant.
Yeah, I wonder. Because I wonder if Emil Griffith had it and he vacated
might
it to
be.
go up to middleweight, and then it was kind of fractured for a minute.
This guy's pretty famous. Fought on TV a lot.
I'm gonna beat my head against
Pretty
the wall.
smooth. I might be giving you the wrong.
Yeah, there's some misdirection with the hints. I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me. I don't know.
Oh. Virgil.
Oh, Virgil Akins.
Yeah.
He probably was out of St. Louis. Virgil freaking Akins. Gosh, I gotta go look him up. Yeah. He's in the Hall of Fame, I think.
So
Don
we're-
Jordan isn't.
He's dead.
So we
Well,
are
you know,
at 30 minutes.
They're all dead.
We are at 30 minutes.
All right.
Are we switching to Facebook Live at any
Do you want to?
point?
Do you want to switch to Facebook Live? All right, folks. Join us on my Facebook page. I think it's just Dougie Fisher,
Yeah,
or it's
just
Douglas Fisher.
Go to Facebook.
So let me
Yeah,
ask you,
Fischer. There's actually a lot of Douglas Fishers.
have you?
There is. There's like a real estate agent. There's like a college professor.
Huh.
I keep up on them.
You know, there's a Steve Kim real estate agent.
Competing.
I took a picture
Oh
of the
yeah,
sign.
Steve Kim is actually a very common name.
Even
So
our
how's
Steve
your
Kim
driving
can be
been
it.
this week?
Good. I was on extra guard because it's the holidays.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you
it's
remember-
summer. People drive a little more with a little more aggression. I think. Well, in Englewood they do. You got folks looking to start beef with you just driving around. But yeah, I'm extra. And what I also notice is that there are more people who aren't used to driving on the holidays because of family gatherings.
Right.
So I see a lot of little old ladies behind the wheel, and I know they're just
Well,
going.
that's just-
They're going
You
to.
know, you can't talk
they're,
like
they're
that.
going. I know.
You
I
can't
know.
say that.
Can't say it. Can't. Don't
You-
talk
you-
bad about plumbers or little old ladies because you're being biased. You're
Yeah,
being
really.
Yeah.
sexist.
You're gonna
being
create some drama on Twitter,
elitist.
Doug.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, but no, I noticed that. I noticed that there's folks that are you know they're not very sure behind the wheel because they haven't driven in a long time, but they have to because it's 4th of July and there's a family gathering somewhere, and it's like that. And then you also know people are drinking more. Some folks start earlier than others. Yeah, and they're out. You know, so
How's your drinking been?
so I almost non-existent.
Good.
But what I mean, I'm not like I didn't drink anything on 4th of July.
How about you, Samir?
I had a beer
Really?
and I think 3 margaritas.
You know, I don't. You know, I went gluten free, Coach, so I don't drink
That's
beer
good.
anymore.
That's very good. Gluten-free
I
is
did
good.
have a hard cider last night, but I shouldn't have. You know what I did? I screwed up. I had a hard cider, and I followed that with an ice cream float. Like,
That's good.
well, no, it's not because the ice cream float was so full of sugar,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like just like pure ice cream. It was like chocolate chip ice cream
Oh yeah.
in the root beer, and you know,
You know, gluten-free
But I
is-
feel it. Like I felt like in my sinuses, like my mouth
Yeah.
felt itchy,
Yeah.
and I had a hard time getting to sleep because of that. Yeah.
Wait, so gluten-free, does that mean you're off bread and?
It doesn't mean I'm off all
Pasta.
grains, but yeah, I can only have special pastas,
Yeah.
like pastas that are made from like chickpeas or lentils or something like that.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's some they're super expensive. It's pasta that is made from wheat,
Yeah.
but there's some process where they take the gluten out, right? And they guarantee it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. I actually had some of that last night, but it means I'm eating a lot less bread, almost no bread, and the
That's
only
good.
bread I do eat is gluten free, and beer is out.
And you know, if
obviously,
you
and
have
I guess
smaller portions.
whatever else like whiskey,
Yeah.
rye, that stuff. That's all wheat.
Whiskey has gluten?
I don't. You have to imagine the distillation process probably clears that out, but whatever. I
I have
don't.
no idea how
No,
it's
but,
made.
but
I ain't dealing with whiskey.
you know, if you don't, no, but you know, getting weed
No
out
more
of
beer.
no, you know, getting weed out of your diet.
Yeah.
You sleep better, you feel better, and
Yeah,
and
I
you.
think
But
I noticed a
the
little
other
bit.
thing is you have to eat less. You know,
Yeah.
you
Smaller
gotta
portions.
eat slowly and time yourself and chew your food.
I do that,
And,
but you know, I tried to cut out all grains last
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
And it just made me a pig. It made me want to eat meat and cheese more than anything because I wasn't eating rice, wasn't eating corn, wasn't eating any kind of bread whatsoever, and it drove me nuts. No pasta. I was like, I'm hungry, and I was just eating cheese and salami. Exactly.
No, but that's the best when you get salami and cheese and you roll them up. And
Yeah,
you eat
that's
them,
all I
And
did.
then you don't even remember you ate them. It's so
But
great.
you feel it. That's like sodium overload.
Yeah.
Like you feel it behind your eyes. Like, oh man, what the hell? But anyways, no, lot less drinking since going
Anyway.
gluten free.
You gotta say, Tom
Hip, hip,
Loeffler is a genius. Really, what he's
Yeah.
doing with this PR, the way he does it, he's so smooth, he's so good.
He's
But
very
there-
savvy with it.
He's beyond.
And
But-
people need to understand that Triple G's popularity, it's not an accident. But it's also not like on purpose. It's not like some people think that Triple G just came over here and said, "Hey, I'm a charming non-American who knocks mofos out, and I'll fight anybody." And everyone just said, "Hey, this is the guy we're just gonna like for whatever." It ain't like that. It's like he had to gradually make his name year after year, and it wasn't just with how he fought and how he conducted himself in and out of the ring. It was also all of the media things that Tom Loeffler was doing.
And they're all
From
subtle.
press conferences here in L.A. years before he would ever fight in L.A. to going, attending the Golden Globes, attending other sporting events like
Dodgers.
NFL, like Major League Baseball, like NBA, like UFC over this past weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he gets hooked into this different demographics and different media. Learn who he is and interview him and get him out there and
Exposure.
Suddenly it starts to click with people. You get a fight with a star like Canelo and it all comes together. It's suddenly you got Triple G mania. You got folks who normally don't cover boxing and they got Triple G on their hat and their shirt.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox is wearing Triple G shirt.
How about that?
Tom Loeffler just tweeted.
Just saw that.
Hey, how did you think that Canelo looked in that Facebook thing?
Like he was bored and totally disinterested.
Physically, how do you think he looked?
I think Samir pointed out his head looked kind of big. His neck looks big.
Yeah.
Maybe he's heavy. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I know Triple G's in shape because he was in shape with that during that awards ceremony for the ring pound for pound
Yeah,
belt.
he's in great shape.
Like he's solid as a rock. Yeah.
And emotionally, really good.
Yeah, he's good. But the press junket could take it out of you. So I do worry a little bit about that, about Triple G carrying the entire weight of this promotion. Right up until fight week. I don't think that would be a good idea. But
No, I think
it's great that he's
This is what I would do.
getting his time.
I would hire Samir as a Triple G lookalike.
There you go.
And then
I'm
you
his
could
anger
do-
translator.
you
Yeah,
could do
right.
the
Oh,
whole
that's
thing.
good, that's good,
And then
yeah.
you could pretend that you can't speak English.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Triple G will pretend that he will translate from
Yeah.
you.
That might
So
be
he'll be in the
interesting.
back there. You're a ventriloquist.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a great weekend, everyone.
Do you have some more? Do you have some more
I have a couple questions.
Okay, so for
we'll try Facebook.
the championship rounds questions trivia will be on my Facebook page.
All right.